Welcome back. So last week I managed to fiberglass the cockpit floor to seal that. When I can afford to get some more supplies, I'll be getting some fairing filler to go with the epoxy and some 2-part Interprotect primer to UV protect the cockpit floor as well. But for now I'm using what supplies I have. So the idea this week was to fiberglass underneath the cockpit and also fill a lot of the hardware fixing points with thickened epoxy. I was also going to look at the bulkheads again and start planning out the 2 lower sections. But sadly this week had other plans, some good, some bad. I've had a couple of days where I wasn't feeling great, so I couldn't really do that much. I've had 2 days of not really entertaining work where I've been figuring out in my head how to measure out these bulkheads, and then I've had a day of sailing, which is the good thing this week. I haven't done that much this week, but what I have managed to do is take off the handrails and a few of the deck fixings, and also take off the boom traveller and fill those holes to stop water getting in through a lot of those points. But really that's all there is to look at this week, so enjoy. So this is what you end up with. I've got a few holes. So normally what you want to do is scrape out some of this to make the thickened epoxy a lot larger. That goes in here to give you a really good sort of bonding really, as well as protecting the core. But this is more sort of damage control, where I've got so many fixings on the deck that are leaking, and it's been, you can see here it's fine, it seems to be quite dry, but then when you come to some of them, like this one here, you can see that is, I don't know if you can actually see that alright, but that is completely different, and it's completely wet. I'll show you a bit. So yeah, it's wet on my fingers there. So it's to stop this from getting any worse, but I'm still going to fill these with thickened epoxy. I'm going to hoover this out as much as I can with my wet back to try and get some of the moisture out. But yeah, fill these with thickened epoxy. That will at least stop any more water coming in. And then the idea after that is to look at it bit by bit and replace the core where it needs to be replaced, and sort out the deck. So what I've done is tape the holes, and I'm just using a little screwdriver because I'm going to fill it from the top. See, I've had a problem where some of this tape's not stuck as well as other places. For some strange reason, it's stuck in most places, but literally 1 or 2 spots in the boat, it literally is repelling. Where are we? Repelling from the actual. I'm hoping that holds. But yeah, so I'm just poking a little hole, and that'll allow the air to come out when I'm filling it from the top. But next is to mix up the epoxy and get all these holes filled. So I've got my usual piping bag of epoxy. So now it's just time to fill all the holes. So I haven't filled these as well as I'd hoped, but the top ends are actually quite filled in. But bearing in mind this is triage to stop water coming in through a lot of holes. Now, for example, I don't know if you can see this because it's quite dark, I was worried that water was coming in through the window bolts, but it isn't. It's definitely coming in through here. And I can't really show you because it's raining without the camera getting too wet, but there you go, there's a lot of sealed holes. So this week I've not managed to do that much, but I've still managed to do something. Where's these ones? So there's quite a few holes that I've over drilled, and I've also managed to fill a couple of holes here and there. And I've just, luckily enough, on the Sunday it's raining, and I'm actually checking to see where else water's coming in, like through this. It's never ending in the boat, isn't it? And I've still got a bit of water coming in through the hatchway. But that is going to be some big project. But thanks again for watching this week, and hopefully next week I'll start getting on with the bulkheads a bit more. But as I was saying at the beginning of the video, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare, a bit of a head scratching time. So if anyone's got any tips on how to measure bulkheads, then I'd be grateful for any information that you might have.